And normally, the presenters prepare a long presentation and plan to talk for a long time, but we get so many questions in the first minutes that we very quickly, more or less, retreat to questions and answers, and then we will just do the interview style. So now, here in the studio, we have Maria here with me. She is one of the Xculture admins. We have two assistants plus me. So we are the people who bug you all the time with those links and reminders and other things related to the administrative side of Xculture. Now, on the other hand, we have Veronica Rendon. Do I pronounce the name correctly?
Yes.
So she is with Milate Chocholate. So that's a brand new company that participates. Well, the company is not brand new, but she's brand new on the Xculture challenge list. So this is the very first time they participate in Xculture. And I'm going to yield it to Veronica now. She's going to talk about the company, possibly a little bit about herself, maybe a little bit about the challenge. And as said, if you have any questions, type them in the YouTube comments or chime in and ask them live. In fact, live would be even better because we want to see you too. All right, Veronica, all yours. I'm muting my microphone now.
All right. So hello, everyone. My name is Veronica. I'm from Colombia. This is where our company is located. And well, basically, our company was created 5 years ago. Well, in our minds, almost like 7. I am an international business graduate, and after finishing my degree, I traveled to Australia to complete a master's in marketing. And also because I wanted to open my mind to new business ideas. And what happened is that being there, like this nice and lovely chocolate shop that I loved, and I saw immediately that there was a gap in the Colombian market, and specifically in our city, in Medellin, for a shop that was specialized in chocolate-based products. And even though there were many chocolate lovers in our city, we didn't find that place that was specialized only in this product. So I started to create all the business idea, the business plan, and well, because I was doing my master's and I tried to like concentrate all the efforts and all the things that I was learning, applying them to that business plan. I also completed some courses in chocolate making. I actually happened to, in Australia, well, I was living in Melbourne, and in that city, there was like one of the best chocolate schools in Australia, so I had the opportunity to take courses for over 2 years. And well, after I came back to Colombia, I started to like make things more real, get in contact with suppliers, organize the menu, have a lot of training and things like that. And 1 year later, we opened our first shop here in Medellin. And the main idea, like our differentiation point, we wanted it to be around 2 basic areas. The first one is that, well, as I said, we could find different pastry shops and brands that were offering chocolate-based products, but, well, first of all, the quality of the chocolate was not so good because by that time, like now, the industry has changed a lot and consumers have changed a little bit, but by that time, we didn't know much about chocolate. So basically, the companies that were using chocolate-based products were using just any kind of chocolate, even not real chocolate, basically all substitutes and things that tasted like chocolate but were not so good in terms of quality and didn't even come from the cacao tree. So that was like the first differentiation point that we wanted to create, like working and manufacturing products that were only based or that were only using real chocolate and only Colombian chocolate. That's one of the other differentiation things that we wanted to emphasize on. Only real and Colombian chocolate. And the other thing is that we wanted to recreate an experience, like we wanted to offer an experience to everyone who visited our shop, and not only sell or commercialize products, like just to take away or very simple things. No, we wanted people to visit a store and feel many things, because chocolate is not a product. Chocolate is a feeling. It's something that you share with your special people, with your family, with your friends. It's something that you normally use or eat when celebrating something, when you want to thank someone or ask for apologies or things like that. So chocolate, it's about a lot of feelings. So we wanted to recreate and people to live an experience around chocolate involving all senses. So not only the visual part, but obviously the taste, the smell, the music, the colors, the ambience of the store. We wanted to make it more like very special for people when visiting us. So we opened the store in November 2010, and well, we had very good acceptance from the beginning, because, as I said, there was no chocolate shop in the city at that time. So we started to be like very accepted in the market. People started to visit the store and they really liked it. So pretty fast we had like a very important base of loyal consumers. And well, we started to grow, yeah, slowly, but let's say good, and we met the expectations that we had. And 3 years later, we opened a second store in a shopping center. That one didn't work so well. Like that one didn't meet the expectations. Let's say that we generated important sales, but obviously the costs associated to being in a shopping center were very, very expensive, and we just couldn't like deal with that. So we had to close it. Actually, we closed it 2 weeks ago. And now we're only in that original area or sector in which we started, which is basically an area that has a lot of tourism. That's where most of the hotels and hostels are located. It's got restaurants, shops, and many things. So it's a very active zone. But it's basically it's not in a shopping center. It's an open space, so it's very nice for you to walk, and well, it's a very nice area. Uh, Within our product lines, we basically offer to eat in the store. Like when you visit the store, we have cakes, desserts, cookies, ice creams, and everything about chocolate. Okay? But our most important product line, and that one that we are trying to like make more strong, is the chocolate line, like the truffles, pralines, chocolate bars. We have, as I said, differentiation that we want to create, and it's around using only real and Colombian chocolate. So we started to strengthen like our portfolio of the products that like chocolates and bars and truffles and things like that. And nowadays what we want to do is to be stronger in that area, not only the pastry and the products that can be consumed in the store, but everything that people take home in terms of because they want to, well, eat it at home, or gifts, or they want to take as souvenirs if it's people that travel like tourists. um, Keeping in mind those two values, only real chocolate and Colombian chocolate. So we basically, in that line, we have chocolates, truffles, bars, yeah, basically, that we sell individually or in assorted boxes, for example. And there's like the new product line that we have within that general line of chocolate is the chocolate bars. We have created a new sort of like we created a collection that we have called Colombia collection, and it's basically based or inspired in Colombian. Well, we try to make very strong two parts of the product. The first one, the product itself in terms of the chocolates that we are using and the flavors that we are combining with the chocolate. So for example, we are within that collection we have 4 products. We have, as I said, each one of them is inspired in one specific landscape of our country. So each of the bars has a specific flavor from Colombia and a specific package that is inspired in a region or in a landscape in our country. So I have here like an example. This is like one of the chocolate bars. This is a chocolate bar that is, it's made with 70% cocoa, like the chocolate is 70%, and it's got a filling, like the bar has a filling that is fruit that is very common in our gastronomy, which is called lulo, which is a very citric fruit that combines very well with the dark chocolate. And we have made some tastes, like we have had people trying this fruit with the chocolate, and they really like it because it's a new flavor and it has like a good match with the dark chocolate. And the packaging, as you can see, and as I mentioned, is inspired in Colombian landscapes. So for example, this one is inspired in the Amazon. So here we have the design and the packaging inspired in that. And this is like the example of the bars. The other flavors are passion fruit, mango. We have another fruit that is the golden berry. We have caramel and sea salt. Like these are new flavors that we are launching, and all the packaging is very important as well. So we are designing a packaging that is also like catching and innovative, and that can bring people's attention. And on the other hand, we have like the chocolates. I don't know, let me see if I can show you here. But we got like different chocolates, again, with different designs, different packaging, different presentations, but all the flavors, like the fillings on them, are also, we're getting, like we want our products to be every day closer to what our gastronomy is more, yeah, like more like closer to our gastronomy. So for example, this is honey, this is cherry, this is piña colada, this is lemon and white wine, and we have fruits, we have different liqueurs. Yeah, that's the chocolate line. Okay, I have talked for a long time, so I don't know if anyone has any questions so far.
Thank you so much, Veronica. So I see a lot of people are actually here with us in the virtual room. So if you guys want to ask any questions, you can just unmute your microphones and ask them. And meanwhile, if I may go ahead and ask a few that I have. So you sell your chocolate through your own stores, or you sell it online? How do you operate now?
Okay, right now, like currently, we are only selling our products in our own store. Like today, that's the situation today. But we are aiming at is at opening those commercialization channels or strategies to other stores in our city, in other cities, and in other countries, right? Um, we are working right now in like fulfilling all the legal requirements and all the things that are, yes, required in order to enter these new channels and these new markets. We have started like step by step. We are currently working really hard in opening the local market beyond our store. But the idea, and because Colombian chocolate has started to gain a lot of positioning in international markets, and let's say the industry in general terms has started to see the potential that the Colombian chocolate and cocoa, the cacao trees, have in international production. So all like the industry has started to support not only the growers, but the transformers and all the industry in general. And that's why we want to take advantage of that opportunity. And even though we're not yet very strong in the national market, we think it is very important to start looking at international opportunities.
So there is a question here I see from Gary Gross, and he's asking, what is your single best selling product?
Okay. if we talk about our store, like if we talk about people who visit a store, we do have like one of the cakes that is very popular, that is chocolate with caramel, like a chocolate and caramel cake. That's like the most single sold product in our store. But if we talk about the line that we are interested in, which is the chocolate bars and truffles, this one that I show you, the Lulo one. It's got even if it's a fairly new, even if it's a fairly new product, it's got a lot of acceptance in the market, and it's the one that we are selling more right now.
So in terms of the sales, again, I'm sorry, I'm getting more into the business side. So you sell it only through your own store? You don't sell it through like supermarkets in Colombia or any other ways, right?
No.
If somebody from, let's say, the United States wanted to buy your chocolate, can we order it online somehow, or can we order it, to be shipped by mail, or it's at this time impossible?
No, we could do it. As I said, we are like as preparation for those international markets, we are working on there are some specific requirements in terms of exporting food items to other countries. So that's what like our major concern today, and that's what we are doing and we are at let's say advanced step in that process. So we could have those registrations and all those things in a few weeks, I guess.
So are those policies different for different countries? I assume so, right? So the regulations, the restrictions are not from Colombia. I assume that's from the countries that will be receiving the product. Is that?
Yes. Well, there are some regulations that are from Colombia, like when you are going to export the products from Colombia, there is the regulations, and those are the ones that we are working on. But yes, part of the task is to see what are those regulations in the markets that appear to be more potential for the product.
Now, again, if you have any questions, those of you who are in the virtual room, just unmute your microphone, switch on your camera, and ask questions here. We just noticed that on YouTube, for some reason, the comments are disabled, and I'm trying to figure out how to enable them, but I can't. So if you are watching on YouTube and you would like to ask a question, if you cannot do it through the comments, feel free to email the questions to admin@xculture.org, and we will monitor that email account. And if I may, I'll proceed with my questions while students are building up the courage to ask theirs. You said that you took some classes for making chocolate, so they offer classes for literally for chocolate making, like university classes for chocolate cooking?
Yeah, well, actually, yes. As I said, I have a background in business. Like, I've never thought that I was going to study or do anything close to products or food or any of those things. But when I had this business idea, I wanted to know the product from the beginning. Like, what are the raw materials, the machinery that you need, the processes, and everything that is associated to, yeah, the production process. So I started to research, and as I told you, in Australia, in Melbourne, there was actually one of the best chocolate schools in that country. So I had the opportunity to go there and study um, chocolate making. I don't know how that's traduced. Yeah, chocolate making. But actually, those classes, those courses were not professional. Like they were not careers, like professional degrees or careers. It's just courses that people take when they like making chocolates and maybe they have their own businesses, etc., etc. But one of my business partners today, he actually traveled to Argentina only to take a professional degree on chocolate making, which is called chocolaterie. It's more like in French. I don't know well my French, but the chocolatier are the people who study to make chocolates, and it's because it's an art. It's like people think that making chocolates is easier, but it's actually really, really hard, because when you want to work only with real chocolate that comes from the cacao tree, the production has things that you need to learn, techniques that are associated with the abilities that you have, and in order to offer a product that is competitive in terms of quality and visual some visual characteristics that are important in chocolate, is not that easy. It's not that easy.
So what exactly goes into making chocolate? Like, do you need to have some big machinery, or like a huge factory, or like, is it expensive to start a company of this kind, or you just mix some stuff in your kitchen and that's it?
No, actually, well, it depends on the level that you want to get to. Like one of the things that we have, like we want to be from the beginning, it's artisanry, like not big volumes, producers of machines, or well, at least that's not how we started with the new, yeah, with these, with what we want to. Like the opportunities that we want to take advantage of right now will perhaps lead us to having to increase our production facilities somehow, right? And our production capabilities. But as we have worked for these 5 years, it's an artisan industry. So you do need some machines to be able to melt the chocolate, to things like that. But in chocolate, when you are making chocolate, one of the most important steps or process, it's called tempering, which is basically getting the chocolate in the right temperature. And for that, there are many methods. You can do it by using big and expensive machines, or you can do it like you can do it manually. And for that, there are also different methods. And the one that we use is the more like artistic and artisan method, which is on a piece of marble. Yeah. Yeah, and you can look for videos on the internet on how to temper chocolate, and all the chocolatiers are always putting hot chocolate, melted chocolate on a cold surface and playing with it until it gets to the right temperature.
So cool. Now, there are questions I see from students. So Kyle Davis asks, and next time, Kyle, you can literally ask live, but I'll read the question. What are the prices, some of the prices for your most popular products? And who are your major competitors? And then also there is another user, M. Galcheva, I guess, and she's asking the same question. So what are your competitors? Are there other stores that you compete against?
Okay, all right.
So prices and competition.
Okay, good. Actually, those two questions are the ones that I have been getting the most. So I don't know if this is the opportunity to say that I created like a document, a file with questions and answers that I had, like with questions that I had been receiving, and so I created a document.
We have a copy of the document, so if students want to contact me, I can send it out, or you can contact Veronica directly.
Exactly. I've got that document with all the answers, so anyone can either send you or send me the email, and I'll be more than glad to share that information with you. But I can answer the question at this point anyways. But just in case you want to have those notes in written as well. When we talk about competition, we could look at competition at many levels, like the local market, the national market, and obviously the international market. And within each of those, let's say, scenarios, we also find a competition in regards to the product line as well. So, for example, when we talk about the local competition, as I told you at the beginning, when we opened our store, there was no like a chocolate shop in the city, and there wasn't one until last year that a chocolate shop was open here in our city. That we can actually call competition, right? But we still have something that differentiates us, and is that we're still the only ones to work only with real chocolate. As I said before, most of the companies and even people who sell chocolate products, they work with substitutes and low quality chocolate. And unfortunately, that competition that we find is doing the same thing. It's using not good chocolate. We talk about different pastry shops, like cafes and things like that, that we could somehow consider not direct competition, but substitutes, like places where people go and just spend nice time with their families and friends. And when we talk about all need, the chocolate-based products like truffles, chocolate bars, etc., etc., we have one competitor, which is well, we have a couple in the local market. Sorry, we have a company that is called Elastor. Elastor. I'll send you the names because they're obviously all names in Spanish, so I'll send them all to you in that file. But Elastor is a company that has over 80 years in the market producing chocolates. Their approach and their target market is more classical, more traditional, because as I said, they've been in the market for over 75 or 80 years. The target market is very different to ours. Like they're concentrated into, let's say, adults and like very classical products. Okay. And we have a few companies that manufacture chocolates, but that sell them basically at the corporate target market, so companies, or you can order from them online or on on different distribution channels, but they don't have like their own stores. In Bogota, which is our capital city in Colombia, we do find a couple of chocolate stores. Actually, because of in the capital we have different, well, there's more tourists and foreigners coming from different countries that have also brought their chocolate knowledge and experience and opened their own stores. There are some Belgium guy, I think, that is doing chocolates and yeah. And the big companies, I also mentioned the big companies that produce chocolate and international brands such as Ferrero and all the Swiss chocolates that come into our country, Mars, the American, like all the American brands that we can find. Yeah, basically that. As I said, I have.
So, like for example, the chocolate bar that you showed us, the colorful one. So, how much would one like that cost?
Okay, I'll bring that table here. Okay, I have put the prices in American dollars, right? So, for example, these, and I also mentioned in the file that the prices are the ones that we are using in the local market. Okay, here, these are the prices that we are using to sell the products here. And based on the primary research that we have done from similar chocolate bars in our markets, in our countries, we think it's in the range, like it's reasonable, you know, but that's the task. So this chocolate bar, our price here is $5, $5 American. This these chocolates, the filled bonbons, they are worth, like for example, we sell them in boxes, right? And a box with 4 chocolates costs $4. A box with 8 costs $8, and a box of 12 costs $10. Those are local prices right now.
Okay, very interesting. So we got a few questions on YouTube. Maria is going to go ahead and ask them.
Yeah, we have 2 questions from Ravender Rahal, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's he's asking if do you also export it, and which countries you are focusing right now?
Okay, no, we have no international experience so far. We have never exported our products. This would be the first attempt or the first experience that we will want to have. In terms of the markets, we have done like a very short research, but based on that, we have seen that the Asian market is very interesting. Korea, for example, South Korea, Japan, yeah, and in general terms, the Asian market seems to be very interesting. Um, yeah, that's like the first target market that we have analyzed. We will have to see if, well, obviously, Canada, United States seem very promising markets as well, but as based on the research that we have done so far, it's a more competitive market, but I think it would be interesting as well.
I have a few more questions that came on an email. Stephen, he's asking, what is your target group except from tourists? Do you want to make your product available for everyone or just a selected target audience?
Well, at the beginning, when we first started our business, we did have like a very selected target market. Like we had created like a niche to say, and we had defined it in terms of social and economic status and income and gender and age and all those demographic characteristics, but we found that there were no limits. Like we had people visiting us from every part of the city, from every, well, not obviously not everyone, but almost all economic and social status or classes or however you want to call it, all ages, both women and men. So we said, okay, so our target market is not based on demographic factors, it's based on psychological factors. So, and we have actually created our segment definition based on characteristics of the people more than demographic elements. And I think that basically our products are targeted to people who like and are willing to pay for real chocolate, okay? For a good quality chocolate. And obviously, because we do pay a lot of attention to detail in terms of presentation, packaging, and all that, people who see chocolate as a very good gift. So even if they are not going to eat it themselves, they can consider that product to be a great gift and give it to someone else.
We have many questions and having a hard time selecting the most interesting ones, but there is one that is related to the previous question, and hopefully you can answer it. If it's a commercial secret, you don't have to. But talking about prices, so there is a question from Carlos Riviera, who is asking how much does it cost to make a chocolate. So I understand what the prices are, but what's the markup in a sense? Is it expensive to make it?
Making chocolates as we make them is expensive because, as I said, everything is manual. So we do everything manually. We manufacture, we package, everything is manually. So I would say that if we compare it to mass production, like say international brands, obviously our costs are higher. But because we have like that, like we don't want to compete with price. We know that our costs are higher, but because we are giving more attention to detail and offering that added value that is associated to quality, design, and all those things, we think our price is consequent with our cost. So we could say that for that product line, the chocolate product line, we can have a margin of 60% over the cost.
That's not bad at all. So let's
Yeah.
do more questions.
I think people are still worried about the prices. So there is more questions about it. It's how much is the price of a candy bar, and if you buy them in a package, I guess that's what they're saying. If it's cheaper if you buy more than one or two, or I don't know, if you
In bulk, yeah.
sell them in packages. And then the other question is if you would consider making smaller bars so that you can lower the prices.
Yes, yes. Actually, that's one of the things. Like this size, for example, we started with this size because Well, I don't know why. I really don't know why we started with this size. Like, this was the size that we defined, but we have also understood, and from the research that we have done, and we have bought bars from like many countries and tried different bars, and we have found that the weight that we are using is above the average. Like, we have, this is 100 grams, but most of the bars that are found in the market are maximum like 80 grams. So between 60 to 80 grams. So yes, we are considering it, and we will be willing and open to change the size of the bar to make it more competitive in the market. Yes. And the first question, I didn't really understand.
Do you give a bulk discount? So if somebody will order lots of chocolates at the same time, will it cost less?
Yes. Let's say that we have, right now, we currently have two different customers, group of customers, B2C and B2B. So, for example, in the B2C, if you go to our store and buy 10 bars, it will cost you the same that if you buy one. Okay? But in the corporate sector, like when we sell to businesses or to distributors, and in this case, if we were going to sell to the customers in international markets, yes, obviously we will manage, like we will have like a table of prices based on quantities.
Do you have any more questions there? Let me ask a question that is probably more practical and related to X-Culture. So first, where do you see the most value in terms of what students can offer to you in X-Culture? Would it be the ideas as to how to market your product, or would it be finding stores that perhaps wants to sell your product? So what would you be, what you as a company owner would be most interested in?
Okay, I think that the greatest help would be around basically all the questions that we have been discussing this morning. For example, what are those elements that are really going to make us competitive in the market? So as you mentioned, size, price, in terms of regulations to enter the markets, like to make sure that we are ready to enter the markets, and once we are, what would be those first markets that we should consider because of their potential, the product potential in that specific market.
So talking about the entry mode, what would be your ideal scenario? So for example, let's say there is demand for your product in the United States or the United Kingdom. What would be your preferred way to deal with that market? Would you like to then open some sort of an online store where customers from that country will order products from Colombia, or would you prefer to open a store in, let's say, the United States, or would you prefer to sell your product through big chains like, I don't know, Walmart or Target, where you would have a contract and ship to them directly? What's your ideal kind of vision for how it would work?
Okay, I think opening a store would be like far in the scenarios, like it would be something that we would consider once we have our branch more positioned in that market, or once we have the resources to actually do that. I would see more likely to happen the other two things that you mentioned, whether it's selling the products through the website, like something that the consumers can order, or making negotiations with I see these products, but again, the research and all the things that well, students will evaluate is what's the best and the most successful way to start. But what I see is that the product is more suitable for not big chains, but small distributors, like the direct retail.
So for example, let's say I believe that there is a market for your product in the United States. Yes, it's an exclusive product. It's kind of expensive, but for American price levels, it's okay. And so let's say I want to buy some, I don't know, for my wife, or who incidentally will have birthday in a couple of days. So, or for somebody else, how would we set it up? Like, for example, can we have a contract with you? Like, could I personally have a contract with you where you operate the website, let's say milatochocolate.com in the United States, and I would have boxes of your chocolate at my home, and when the order comes, I will mail it from the United States, so we don't have to ship it every time from Colombia? Or what would be a practical way to do it? And
Yeah,
then again, if somebody approached you, like if I approached you and said, you know what, I think I would like to give it a try. I want to buy the first, let's say, 200 candy bars, and so I would like to give it a try, and I'm going to operate from my home. Would you give contract like that to a person or a company? If I don't have my own store, for example, would that be an acceptable option to you? And if not, what would be a preferred way to do it? Should I then go to an existing store and say, I know of this wonderful Colombian company, they sell this wonderful product, and I see you sell chocolates as well, would you like to add their products to your line? So what would be a better way to do it?
Well, I had always seen the most likely scenario to be um, the retailers. Like, let's say, for example, that there is a chain of coffee shops, or I don't know, in a store where handicrafts or things like that are sold, or yeah, uh, those stores buying directly to us. Like, for example, if there's a brand that has like a couple of stores or one store, and the product can be sold there, that they can be our direct customers, okay? And we sell and we send like monthly, or yeah, we would analyze what's the best like lead time to be sending, but I always see it as dealing directly, not to the consumer like a person, but like stores and chains and things like that, small chains. But the other possibility that you mentioned, to be honest, I had never considered it, but I don't see it as a bad idea. Like, if we analyze and see that, well, we will obviously have to create like some, as you mentioned, contracts and things that will protect many of the things, and that the product is commercialized and promoted correctly. I think that could also be an option if we analyze it well.
Yeah, it seems to me that the best way to go would be like you described. Again, I don't know much about other markets, but in the United States, in Canada, in Germany, where I used to live, pretty much every city, every town, every mall would have a little store that sells all kinds of cool things, you know, from perhaps, I don't know, chocolates including. And you're right, I mean, it's probably going to be best to go directly to those and say, well, I know this wonderful product. Would you guys like to, you know, give it a try and maybe order the first shipment and see how it goes? And if there is demand, maybe we can, you know, make it regular and increase the volume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, all right. So do you have any more questions there?
Yes, I have one from Mariana Canales, and it says, due to the fact that you, Veronica, mentioned the process is to be artisan, production then takes longer than it would with an automatized production line. So how long approximately does it take them to produce a whole batch of the most popular product, and what is its shelf life?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's start with the shelf life. These products have actually a shelf life of around a month. Yeah. Uh, they vary. Like, some of them would last longer, but in general terms, like as a general time, that's a month. Let's say a month. Okay. If we talk about, okay, no, sorry, but I wanna clarify something. Not all the not all the bars have fillings. Like, for example, this is a fruit filled chocolate bar, right? The ones that have fillings are the ones that will last a month, okay? Because we try to make it as natural as possible. Like, we don't use any artificial flavors or any of those things. Everything comes directly from the fruit. Obviously, we make the processes for the fruits to last a little bit longer, but nothing with chemicals or any of those things. It's all natural. So that would last a month. But when we talk about just chocolate, like chocolate in the different percentages, so 36, 59, 70, 85, that we do have in the portfolio, that is just chocolate, that lasts a year, that has a very good shelf life. And even the when we say just chocolate, the fact that is single origin, and well, I didn't tell you much about it, but when I mentioned that the Colombian chocolate was started to gain like a little bit of importance, it doesn't have the same position or recognition as perhaps Ecuador, Venezuela, or the African countries, but it's starting to increase their participation in the worldwide industry, and yeah, it's starting to get a lot of recognition. And the cacao that is grown in Colombia has gained a distinction, like a category, a recognition that is a distinction that only 5% of the cacao that is grown worldwide has actually received. So that since that happened, that's the moment in which Colombian cacao and chocolate started to be recognized internationally. So even if it's just chocolate, the product itself has an added value and may have like a position in international markets. And as I said, that one has like a very good and a better shelf life. And the other question was the time of producing the bars, right? Well, because as far as today, we only produce for a store or for the local clients that we have. Yes, all our methods are very artisan, and as I explained, manually, but we are conscious that okay, our process, because of the way we have developed our business, is that once demand increases and we have like the financial resources to finance the next step, we will do it. So let's say that we start to gain the customers, the sales, and we see the potential of these and have the financial backup. Obviously, we are aware, and as I said before, that we will need to improve that efficiency, and we will, because today we are like our supply meets our demand, so we are fine. But obviously, we are aware that once demand starts to increase, we will need to match the supply and increase that efficiency in order to meet the lead times.
Another question that I have, so as I understand, starting a business is not easy. Many students ask for career advice. So if anyone wanted to start a business like you have, what advice would you have? What should those students do in order to kind of replicate your way to being a business owner?
Patience, persistence, and like when you open a business, like in my case, for example, as I told you, I had the opportunity to write my business plan for more than 1 year. So I had everything written down from how everything was going to work, the procuring of the raw materials, the process, the distribution, the marketing, etc., etc. But once the shop was open, everything changed. Like nothing was exactly as I had planned it or written it. Because once you face like, and when you have to deal with real supplier, real customers, employees, and all that, is not as easy as you thought it was going to be, and as like logical and planned. Okay, so but in saying that, having your plan, like a business model that is well planned and written and defined from the beginning, gives you the opportunity to not lose focus. Okay, you will probably need to make adjustments on the way. So you, then the employees don't react to the motivation that you thought it was going to be good for them. Okay, the suppliers are not so that it's not so easy to negotiate with suppliers, or consumers are not so easy to be pleased, etc., etc. Okay, so you make adjustments to that. But having the focus, your vision, or where you want to go, it's very important. And also because that will, like every time something gets difficult, like every barrier that you face and every challenge, every difficulty that you have, uh, having the vision clear, like where you want to go, will help you to like breathe, stop for a second, and continue towards that point. Because many people will tell you many things along the way. No, you should do this. You should change your product. You should change the way in which you communicate to consumers, etc., etc. But uh, if you start like going through each of the ways that people tell you, uh, you will probably end up doing nothing. So the best thing is to have that north clear and be very, very persistent, very patient, like start every day as if it was like a new brand day.
All right, here's another question from Mira Hamrui, I guess, if I read the name correctly. What is your current marketing strategy? How do you advertise your product currently?
Okay, well, our marketing strategy is, well, it starts with a clear market segmentation. As I said, we have done our segmentation based on, I call it, I don't know if it's correctly, like psychological characteristics. And we have 4 basic groups. The first one is the one that we have called the Chocoholics, which are the people that really, like really like chocolate and go to our shop and or just order the products or everything because they really like the product. And the more they eat, the better. So if they have like a chocolate cake with a chocolate drink and then another truffle for dessert, that's perfect. So like that's like the first segment. The second one is what we call the social group, and it's basically people who even they don't love chocolate, they love sharing with people, with their family, with their friends, with the people that are close to them. So they visit our shop to share those moments with them and order obviously the products. The third one is what we call, I don't know how to translate this, but basically the people who visit our shop to buy things for someone else, like people who like to surprise other people and like to buy gifts for all the special occasions. And the fourth group is what we call like the I don't know, it got very specific Spanish names, but are all the people that visit our shop and that buy our products because of the characteristics of the product in terms of what I have been mentioning, that is only real Colombian chocolate, artisanary, so that they prefer a product because of those characteristics. So they give value to the fact that our product is only that is made only with Colombian chocolate, that is like the social responsibility that is attached to the product, I would say. Okay, so starting with the definition of those 4 segments, we design basically like a marketing strategy for each of them. So we design different products for each of those segments in terms of the product itself, the flavors, the packaging, the presentation for the products that are only in the menu. So we put them in the menu for that specific segment, etc., etc. The promotion. So we do use different promotion strategies for each of the segments. So let's say that if we're talking to chocoholics, then we use a set of words that are associated to the pleasure of eating chocolate. If we are talking to the people who give value to the ethics of the product, so we talk about the Colombian cacao, how the industry is growing in terms of the how the growers are being supported by the government, that we should value our Colombian chocolate, that we should support the local industry, etc., etc. So we got like different promotion strategies with each of these segments. And in terms of the strategies or the communication channels, Obviously, all the digital is very important for us, like uh, social networks, emails, like direct emails, the website, all the things that is digital, and especially social networking is very important to us. We also participate in fairs and trade shows in our city. We're going to participate in a trade show, in a fair in 2 weeks in Bogota. That's like the first trade show that we are going to do outside our city. We're going to the first trade show that is being done in around chocolate, like fine and good quality chocolate. So we are participating in that one. Yeah, basically trade shows and fairs. We do a lot of events in our shop, alliances with other brands. Um, yeah, basically.
A few more questions, if you may. So we keep getting questions, and we are almost out of time. Jordan and Myra are asking about your production capacity. So basically, how much would you produce if you had orders with the current staff in your production department, I guess?
Okay. Currently, we're in the capacity of producing 1,600 chocolates a day.
I mean, that's a lot. That's quite a, I thought it would be less. Another question that I have, and again, feel free not to answer it. We have a lot of students around the world, including in Medellin. So we have a couple of classes from EFIT, and then we have a number of students in Bogota, also 2 universities there, and then obviously all around the world. Would you be open, if any of those students impressed you with wonderful ideas and I don't know, suggestions, would you be open to perhaps offering them as a not compensation, as an incentive to maybe some sort of like an internship in summer maybe? And I know in Medellin you don't really have summer, it's always summer, but you know, when they have school break. So would you be interested in perhaps hosting some of those? And again, I'm not sure if they would be interested, but I suspect they would. It's a cool business. I mean, I would like to spend maybe sometimes a few weeks to learn your business.
I would love to. I would love to. Like this is a very smaller, like a very small company. Like when people call me and say, "Can I speak to the marketing department?" Yeah, this is me. And to the accounting department, yeah, this is me. And like basically in the administrative area, it's just me. So we're not a big organization, so we could not say that, yeah, I can offer you like an internship in that area or in that department, but we do have very nice ideas and things to do. So if anyone's interested and would like to be part of our organization for, as you said, a couple of months or weeks, yeah, we will be happy to.
And since the answer is yes, so for all of you listening, I've been to Medellin a few times. This is a paradise on earth. Like
Yes.
when they have weather forecast, they don't tell what the temperature will be. They just say if it's going to rain or not, because they know every day it's going to be 24 Celsius. And if you want it warmer, you just go down in the valley. And if you want it colder, you just go a little higher in the mountains. Their classrooms don't even have windows, like literally no windows, because it's always the same temperature. So if you know, try your really best and you impress Veronica with your ideas, she said that she might invite you for a few days there, you know, to observe and learn. It would be the best vacation ever. I definitely recommend it. So it seems like we're pretty much out of time now. So I'm not sure if you would like to make some concluding remarks, and I think we're going to be stopping here. Anything else that you would like to ask of the students, or perhaps tell them or advise them of? So.
I'm pretty, well, first of all, I want to thank you all for choosing our company. We are very excited to see that the project has created a lot of interest, and we've got like the, many teams working on it. So I want to thank you for that. And everything is very well received. Like, as I said, we're a small company. We have been in the market for only 5 years, which may seem a lot, but that's really not. Like, a company learns new things every day, so we want to hear everything that you want to share with us, and anything that you as consumers are, even if it's not from our brand, but if you like chocolate and you think that we could somehow improve something, or something that we have not considered before, we are more than glad and open to hear all the suggestions that you want to make to us. And yeah, no, basically that.
Well, thank you so much, Veronica. I know as a business owner, your time is extremely valuable, and thank you so much for taking an hour out of your busy schedule to be with us here. Thank you, everyone who attended. We will try to have a video recording of that posted later for everyone else to see who couldn't attend. Thank you so much. And
no, I do want to say something, and is that for those of you who don't understand Spanish that have been asking me about content in English. Unfortunately, our website is not in English right now. It's only in Spanish. But if you Google, we have had like bloggers and many people writing about Melate in English. So I think you can find information in English on the website. And if not, as I said, feel free to ask anything. I have prepared that document that I don't know if someone needs me to send it, I'll send it. And yeah, I do have many information in Spanish. If someone in your team knows Spanish, that would be helpful. But if not, the information, you'll probably find information there.
and hopefully soon enough you will have so many orders from all around the world that you will have an English version and maybe then a German and a Japanese and a Korean version of the site to accommodate to the taste and language preferences of the customers which we will have around the world. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone. We will have another webinar in a few days. Thank you, Veronica. And as I said, we will post the recording soon once we process it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.